Okay, yeah. I'm going to be recording this so that it's available for others to watch here later. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Okay, can we see that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we're going to start with prayer. Um, we are a faith-based club, and making sure and letting kids know about Jesus is part of what we do. And so we're going to start this with prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you for our time tonight. I pray that you help it go smoothly, help it to answer questions for those who are here, and just ask that this season goes well. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, so Ephesians 6:13 talks about getting your armor on, and that's why you need to put God's full armor on. Then one day, on the day of evil, you'll stand strong and you will have finished your fight. So that's partly why we are the Warriors. We're also partly why the Warriors because we wanted something that was close to Girard Trojans, but not the Trojans. So those who are from other communities wouldn't necessarily feel like they had to be a Trojan. But we did kind of keep that. We did keep the color theme and stuff. But our goals are to build character and sportsmanship, healthy living focus, and foster love and understanding for the sport of track and field. Our main goal is to have fun in that. It's not our intention to pull kids away from other activities. It's just to give an opportunity to introduce kids to track at a younger age. Um, Middle and high school students, if they want to be involved, can start after their school seasons. They cannot be a part of a club season until after their school seasons are done. The commitment to flexibility. Um, well, one of the biggest reasons we enjoyed the track stuff was the commitment level was basically whatever we wanted to make it, and that's what we'd allow our people to be a part of. And there's the doorbell for. But anyway, so we don't expect anybody to be at practices. We don't expect anybody to attend meets. We just when you pay your fee, the club fee for um, the year, then it's up to you whether how much you want to be involved. You can be involved as much as you want. You can be involved as little as you want. Can you just set that stuff down right there? And um, sorry, I'm being distracted by one of my own kids. Um, great. So being flexible was a big part of that. One of the things that we've seen, and it's fine, is especially with the youth, is we start right after spring break with youth, mostly the kids from sixth grade and down. And as baseball season gets going into May, we usually see a drop off in those, and that is perfectly okay. And when then we add middle school kids and high school kids at those times. So anyway, the commitment to that flex or the flexibility is a big part of what drew us to it. Um, and it's what we'd like to provide for others. We spent one summer every weekend at a baseball diamond, and my son just didn't enjoy that. It didn't end up being for him or for us, and this was an alternative option for that. Coaches. So I'm Nate Clevenger. I'm the head coach. I'm from Erie originally and went to Pitt State, played basketball and was did track there. And then I coached at the high school level for 7 years at Colgan, and then went to Girard um, in 2004, and am one of the middle school coaches at this point. Some of our other coaches, um, Morgan Samuels. We've been doing the club. This is going to be our 11th year. And this is Morgan's 11th year of helping. She's helped from the very start. Morgan is a former Girard athlete. She medaled at state in high jump, long jump, and 4x4. Is still part of the Girard High School 4x4 record team. She went on to compete in basketball and track at Ottawa University and was a conference long jump champ. She's um, does our jumping with long jump and triple jump mostly, and then sprints and things of that sort. If you have young daughters, I think they appreciate Morgan greatly. We're also one of the few clubs in the area, for sure in our region even, that has a pole vault coach. Lainey Lawson, she coaches at Southeast. She's coached middle school and high school vault now and has become very knowledgeable of that. She teaches PE at Southeast at this point. But pole vault is one of the things our club really has advantage over a lot of places. And kids that are usually around 12 can start vaulting. And if they're strong enough and mature enough, we can start teaching them younger than that. In fact, Coach Lawson would like to have a clinic sometime for even younger kids. So um, we have Leah Smith has helped. She's a former Girard track athlete as well and an All-American javelin thrower. She primarily helps us with javelin and turbo jav is an event that younger kids do. It's basically kind of like a Nerf javelin. Abby O'Neill is a former Girard track athlete. Her family lived in Arc City for some time and they moved back to the area. She ran cross country and distances at Pitt State. She does our distance coach in the spring, but she's coached cross country and that sort of stuff as well. Mia O'Neill is an assistant distance coach, and she's kind of a younger kid who's just kind of helped with many th different things, but she's helped us with our cross country in the fall for our kids the last couple of years. So if your kid is interested in doing cross country in the fall, she's somebody they might get to know. Our throws coach, we have a great situation with our throwers coach. Coach Owens is a former collegiate thrower who's actually from Canada and competed in college in Michigan. Last year was not her first with the club. I forgot to update that part. She's been with the club a couple of years now. She's willing to work with kids outside of practice times. And she's a fantastic lady to have as a part of our club. She's very supportive, and we're fortunate to have her. And then we have some other helpers, some people that are part of things kind of on a voluntary basis. We won't see Brian Norton much, but he helped a lot when his kids were younger. One of his kids are pretty much grown out of it, but he helps with our meet and is a big help on that. Katrina Burke is also her child. She has a fifth grade child who'll be a part of things and a middle school kid. Let me add this other person. Okay. We're also going to have Lily Hart this year. Lily is a former warrior. She's from Nevada, Missouri originally, and they found our club just by chance. She competed with us, and in high school at Nevada, her junior year, she was the state champion high jumper. And then she's been at Missouri Southern long jumping and triple jumping, did some high jumping here and there over the last few years. And when she gets done with this season and graduates, she's gonna help us some. And then my wife is our club manager. Whenever we're at practice and she's there, she knows just about as much as this as anybody. So you're more than welcome to ask her questions, and she'll be taking care of shirt orders and things of that sort. Okay, requirements to be a part of the club. We did increase our club fee to $85 per athlete this year, and you can see the what those numbers amount to. It's about $22 for the AU membership, about $15 for a shirt, so it's around $50 participation fee, and that's just a one-time fee. And then there are costs that are associated with meets if your child ends up wanting to compete in meets. Again, not everybody's kids want to compete in meets. They just come to practice and do some stuff. So that doesn't have to be included. We do prorate those costs a little bit for middle school and high school seasons. Um, there is an athlete information, a release form that we ask you to fill out. That's on the website, warriorstrackclub.org. Um, and we'll have some paper copies of that if you need it. So one of the additional costs that if you plan on competing, our regular youth season, and most of the people on here are youth folk, I'm sure. Our youth season really is like from right after spring break till beginning of May is when most of those youth meets are. Our meet is actually April 18th. At those youth meets, we don't require you to have a uniform. We'll have our t-shirts. If you happen to have a uniform, that's fine. Um, but it's not required. However, if you're going to be competing in the summer at the actual AAU events where we go to a districts, regionals, and potentially Junior Olympics, then we do require that one of our uniforms be purchased, and those are 80 bucks. Um, the meet fees range at those meets from $25 to $35 a meet. Um, and those are kind of what you can expect. I have the meets on our schedule and band, and you can look at where those are. The coaches don't always go to those. If you want to go to a meet that we're not going to, each Sunday I'll send out a questionnaire about who wants to attend the meet and the next weekend, and you let me know, and I get you set up. And most of the time, there might be a few people, but coaches don't always attend. We don't pay our coaches. We're all voluntary. We do help pay for some travel expenses when they do go to meets. And so you kind of have to figure out things on your own sometimes in those situations. Usually somebody's going that's been a part of it, though. When's the club's regular season? As I mentioned, we're going to start March 23rd as our first practice, and basically it can go as all the way through June. If your child were to compete in the regionals and qualify for Junior Olympics, they could end up going all the way to the end of July and beginning of August. In fact, Junior Olympics is the first full week in August this year and goes right up before school starts, unfortunately for me. I do teach eighth grade at Girard. Um, what does commitment require? I talked about that a little bit. Um, that's up to you as a family, and what you want to do and how you want to deal with that. So, be involved as much as you want, as little as you want, um, and make it happen. Do you need spikes? I would not encourage you to get spikes for your younger kids unless you find out that they are really enjoying it and you're going to spend time competing during the summer at some of the meets that are available. That might be beneficial then. I do have some spikes, smaller size, not a lot, but I do have some that we sell for $30 if you are interested in that at some point. Okay, we are a 501(c)(3), C3, sorry, nonprofit. We're a tax deductible group, so we do take donations and sponsorships from people if um, people want to. We'll host a youth meet on April 18th. That acts as our biggest fundraiser. At this point, we used to be solely relying upon our club fees and donations, but since we started hosting the meet helps us to be able to fund most of our year, not everything. We still require donations to really get through and be able to do things well. So if you do happen to know anybody um, that's looking for a donation, wants to donate, then we'd be happy to accept that. But we try to keep the meet something that you, as a parent, can just enjoy and watch your kids and not have to be a part of. We try to get help from the schools and around the area and stuff. I have more people coming into to my house now, interrupting me. Yeah. All right. Practice expectations. We have parent volunteers. If you're standing around and we need help, we may grab you to help. We try to have that taken care of, but sometimes we need extra bodies. Athletes of kindergartners or youngers, we do ask that you as parents, when you bring kids to practice, that you stay and are available. I've only had a couple of situations where we've had had to ask kids to leave before, so I don't anticipate that. That was quite a while ago, but sometimes kids can struggle and maybe not be quite as prepared mentally for that as we'd like. And the third person's going to now interrupt me here. Practices are usually about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. They can be a little bit longer if we start working on stuff, specific events. But early on in the year, we try to we start at 6. We try to be done about 7:15, 7:30, um, and then go from there. Um, Make sure which I'm guessing all of you have your notifications for band turned on at this point. Just that's how we communicate. Um, it's I love it on my part. I know it's not perfect, but my wife still doesn't think it's great. But I like it and it works for what we need it to do. So keep band available. That's how we communicate with everything. We do have some social media outlets that we use. We do use Facebook a little bit, Twitter and Instagram, kind of to plug kids, more of the high school kids and when kids sign and things of that sort. There's our website, warriorstrackclub.org. The athlete registration can be found there, and you can find the schedule of events and things of that sort as well. And what else? Email information form. What's that about? Do you remember? I don't remember. I don't know if we need that. So there's the event calendar, meet entry form. We do accept checks. We have PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App now, are all available to be used. And we'll take cash if you just bring that to practice, when it comes time. That works as well. Oh, in the club info section of our webpage, there's questions people have or what events are available to certain ages of kids and stuff. And you can find that kind of information underneath the club info. I haven't updated that probably in a year or so. So there could be, if you have questions about that too, you can always just get with us and ask us about that. If you know of someone who wants their child to be a part of the club but wasn't able to make it to the meeting, they can just they can turn in fees and their forms to Maria at the first practice if they want to go about that way. Otherwise, let me get off of this thing, stop my share. Crud. Maria, come help. Stop my share here. That?
Stop share.
Yeah, thanks. There we go. That's what I needed. So I'll take questions. I'm more than welcome to take questions at this point. We've still got some time if anybody has anything. Otherwise, that's all I have. And go from there. So does anybody have anything? I haven't looked at the chat or anything. So
Are all the practices in Girard?
yes, they are.
Okay.
They are. I don't have, that was one of the, I don't have the actual practice schedule up yet.
Okay.
Most practices are Monday and after April, they're mostly Thursdays too.
Okay.
Since I coach middle school track, Thursday nights are big middle school track night. So
Okay.
we usually try to have 2 practices a week. Sometimes that can end up being Monday and Saturday. Sometimes it's Monday, Friday. It just depends. And I just have not set that up yet. I meant to do that and I got sick the last couple weeks here and just haven't done it.
Yeah.
But mostly Mondays for sure.
Okay.
Good question. Girard is awesome about letting us use the facilities as if they're ours. So um, it's a great situation. Anyone else? I know some of you got in late. I didn't catch that there was some beeping going on. Okay. Kelsey, nothing? Ariel? No. Okay, well, then I'm going to go ahead and in the meeting. Feel free to contact us at any time through band or through the emails. Mine's email is Nate@Warriors Track Club or just by cell phone, whatever you need. And if you have questions, I'll be happy to chat with you about those. So thank you for attending this. We only had about 5 times more than we had last year here. So I think we had 2 last year listen in. So this was a good group. So we'll hopefully see y'all later.